Cool. Belinda, awesome. Thank you so much for jumping on and joining me for this little chat. We're just chatting a bit offline about your record revenue months. It was amazing to see what's transpired from you being in the program, starting at quite low levels on the online side. You had, doing some markets and in-person stuff, which has always been quite lucrative, but wanted to improve the online side of the business and seeing that I can't even do the math on it. You said mentioned going from the hundreds of dollars to the multiple thousands, which has been fantastic to see and to see that continue as well. We'll jump into what you did specifically for the strategy perspective, but I'd love to just hear where things were at for you with the business before you and I met. What was happening in your business before you jumped in?
Yep. So before we met, I had started my little online business. I've got my website up and running, and I was doing local in-person markets with my dog treats. And I was wanting, and I'd created a new product in a probiotic for dogs, which I was wanting to sort of get out into the market, and I didn't really know where to start. Um, so reached out to you and we had a discussion. You reviewed my website. That was a pretty major thing. There was really subtle, minor tweaks that made all the difference. And so once we got that up and running and went through the program, did the trainings, yeah, and everything started to go from there.
It's really funny I mean, amazing to see those little tweaks because as business owners, we're so into our business. It's really hard to see the forest for the trees sometimes, and we're on our website, looking at our messaging, looking at our marketing all the time, and we're just like something here that I'm missing that could be in front of our eyes. So it's awesome to hear that. Yeah, I remember when we hit that, straight out of the gates, which was awesome. And then to add some obviously fuel to the marketing fire was just about getting attention on your business and your brand. And I think that's obviously what's been able to continue. Had you tried things prior to jumping in on your own, or was it more just like you didn't really know what you didn't know? What was it initially that you were challenged with before jumping in the online side?
Yeah, I'd been with a previous ecom um, company as well, and I didn't feel like I got much traction out of that.
Mm.
And so then I tried to go it alone, and yeah, just didn't. I built my website myself. I didn't really have any knowledge of the ecom side of things, and so yeah, I really struggled to sort of understand even where to start.
Sure, yeah, and I mean, so many people in that position as well. So it's really good to hear that. I mean, and I think importantly as well, if you'd tried something before, were you nervous to jump into the ecom blueprint?
I was
To try something?
terrified, terrified. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
but I just knew that I'd come too far to let it fall apart. So
Yeah.
I had to try one last thing.
I love that. That's so important. I don't think I've spoken to one person along the journey in like 3, 4 years that weren't nervous for sure. It's always a risk and a gamble trying something new and putting your trust in me, in this case. And I take full big responsibility as to that with everybody that comes in. And, it's awesome to just see you take it with both hands and being like, yep, this is it. Like, could be the last time that you give it a crack, and as I say, take it with both hands, and it's even better when it comes off the way it has, which is insane. So you mentioned the website, some messaging, some targeting, potentially with that messaging and language and things like that. What else was it in terms of the strategy that had worked? I think it was ads that we were talking about before that was the main driver. Was that right?
Yeah, the ads. So previously I'd had a really bad experience with advertising on Meta. Over $4,000 spent and about $800 worth of revenue that came out of that. So I was really, really nervous
Mm.
around the Meta ads, and it definitely wasn't something that I was comfortable doing myself without some guidance from someone who knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, running through your program, doing the trainings, I was still really scared, but had to just jump off the cliff and do it. And yeah, so jumped into Meta advertising on the 19th of May. I will never forget that date. And that very first ad that I put up, that very first creative that I tested, that's still the one that's going strong yeah, months down the track. So
That's awesome. I think I remember you messaging me
yeah,
saying, "Ah, the ads are working," and I'm like, "That's incredible."
yeah.
It's such a cool confidence builder for you that you tried it before and spent a lot of money and hadn't worked. And so, yeah, I totally understand the apprehension of going again and being like, what's going to be different? But again, full credit to you and the commitment to it. And it's just, again, incredible result to see the fruits of the labor and backing yourself too, which is, yeah, amazing. And from a program perspective, what have you found the most beneficial? I know we've obviously got a few components to it. It's a bit of a hybrid mentoring model that we talk about with obviously the program, the community, and myself and another mentor as well. What have you found most beneficial for your needs throughout the time?
I think the community. So having that opportunity to jump onto the meetings and listen to what other people are doing. And sometimes, there's been that light bulb moment where I've gone, oh, okay, well, I could do something similar and that will give me a better outcome. But then just also being able to ask questions in the community as well, and having, a myriad of people from lots of different backgrounds being able to come and put in their 2 cents worth. And from that, you take what you think is going to work for you. But there's always some really good suggestions in there as well. So definitely the community has been
That's
been the
cool.
main thing.
Yeah, that's so good to hear. And you hit the nail on the head just with the collaborative nature of it, and because it's a small, tight-knit community, like you build personal relationships with people, but the realness behind it too. Like people
Mm.
see the screenshots and they see the results and they're like they get a bit of FOMO in outer communities and things like that. But when you're in the inner sanctum, you're like, I know how hard they've worked and what they've been through. And also now I know how to do this strategy, as I say, for yourself. And it's worth a shot because it worked for that person because I know what level they're at and what they've tried in the past and how you can relate it to yourself. So yeah, I mean that's a huge thing that we take a lot of care of with our community. And it's just the quality of people such as yourself in the program is what makes it run. I always say I'm just the facilitator of it, and you guys run the show. But it's as I say, like 9 times out of 10, people definitely comment on the community. So I'm so glad that you found that as well.
Yeah.
One last thing, I guess. Having the been through the program you have, having the great results we're experiencing right now, and being on the other side, I guess. Having that wisdom, like what would you sort of say to people that are where you were before we had met, that you're feeling a little bit, I guess, lost and probably overwhelmed, not knowing what to do, sort of thing. What would you say to those people there, having been through what you've been through up to this point?
I think that you've got to jump into the fear and just take the chance, because what you're doing now, if it's not getting you anywhere, it's never going to get you anywhere. You've got to do something different. And doing something different for me was trusting that, investing in your program was going to get me to where I wanted to be. And that's exactly what happened. So you've just got to try, and you've just got to, yeah, you just can't be scared. You've just got to jump in both feet and do the work, and it'll pay off.
Uh, Awesome message. I absolutely love that. And that takes a really strong mind, of someone as well to as you're speaking about before, to have a couple of experiences and be hesitant and whatnot. But what you sort of mentioned towards the end there is that it's the responsibility of us as the human being and as the business owner. Like we'll give you the vehicles and we'll lead you to the water, but it's you that has to obviously do the action. And you've done it magnificently, like honestly. And so that's why I'm just so pumped and proud for everything that you've done up to this point. And there's more to come. I absolutely know it. It's really exciting. But I mean, thank you for obviously just sharing all of that. And it's valuable for people to hear your journey and your success as well. It's going to inspire a lot of people. So thanks so much for jumping on and sharing that.
Thanks, Will.
No worries.